So she said, depends all on what you want out of it. Because she said like long-term, obviously there's the benefit there of the land growing and the value of that as well as the business itself. So we'll see what I can come up with for funding or vendor financing or whatever.
So are you still looking at the about the 800,000 mark after closing and everything else? Is that added to it, or are you looking at around almost 850 or something like that?
Probably around 850 by the time you're done, because part of the inventory isn't included. But I think the reasoning for that is like because it's still equipment. It's like still owns it and it's just a warehouse. So I don't know how. I've got to ask him when I meet on Friday. But yeah, he's asking $799. He's clearing about 1.1.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So we'll see. But it's good, at least she was, happy with the books, looked decent for the last 3 years and everything.
So what's the possibility of you doing something creative over there? Because I don't know what you're able to do over there in Canada and all that. Are you able to do?
I'll probably bring my accountant into it, but it all depends on what he wants out of it. So I have to do some fact-finding questions on Friday and see kind of where and what he wants, and like why is he retiring? Does he need money now? Can we, give him 50 grand in a check right now and pay him out, or like, what all is he looking for? So we got a little bit of due diligence to do on our side, but.
Well, cool. Well, if you're able to do creative, that's probably be a pretty cool thing for you to go back and do, to go back and find a different method besides bringing in a whole bunch of JVs or partnerships.
Mm-hmm.
You may have to go back and do this a little bit different.
Yeah.
Look at here. We got you set up as a different name. What's up with that, girl? You froze. Oh, you're driving.
It's a good picture.
Can I take a screenshot of this on this?
On your phone, quick.
So that's your question as far as sales guys.
What are y'all doing?
Me?
Yeah, what are you doing?
I have to grab me something to eat since I haven't had a chance to eat all day. I had coffee and that was it. That was my meal for the day.
I actually made spaghetti a little while ago, so we're pretty good now. Javier, my friend, ¿cómo estás?
Yes, I can definitely.
Very good. Muy bien, muy bien.
Referrals, like that thing you see.
Are you with Johnny?
Okay, yeah.
You see, like I think it's 250 on those.
Yes. He's gonna get me something to eat.
Okay.
So let me change this name real quick. So hola.
What's up?
¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien. Hola, hola.
And we can put a lot of stuff you're picking up in that box back there too. In
So how we doing? How's the deal going?
I'm still waiting for the information from the realtor. He told me that he already asked for the information to the seller, but he's still waiting for the feedback.
Okay, good. Yeah, if you're able to go back and get like a survey on it too, so you can go back and take a look at it, and we can go back and plan probably a extra addition in the back, because why not, right?
Okay. As soon as I got the information, I'm going to get back to you, because you were telling me some interesting ideas, and if I tell you the truth, you have beautiful ideas. That's why I told you that Peter, is there a possibility that you talk directly to the seller and you don't need us? So that's what we are going to do. If it is okay for you.
Yeah, if we're able to get to the seller, we can go back and give him a couple of creative options, so we can go back and close that deal in Florida. And so why not? That's a beautiful place and everything else. And if you're able to get it under a creative way, it's just you can put more money in the owner's pocket and go from there. What's up, Christy?
Hey, oops, sorry. I didn't mean to make noise. I was hitting the wasp.
No problem.
Victor, I sent you a message.
What's up, Israel? What's up, brother?
I sent you a message today morning. Did you see it?
I probably did. I'm on text or email.
Text. Was a text, SMS.
Yeah, we said about talking later and everything else. That's fine. We can do that. That's not a problem.
Can do that?
Yeah, after.
Okay, okay. Are we going to talk about this later, or you are going to talk about this in the Zoom meeting, or what do you think?
Oh, we
is
can
the best
do.
way?
We can bring it up on this too, so it's not a problem.
Okay. Thank you for inviting me,
Ain't no
Victor.
problem. Israel, how we doing, brother? How's the beautiful weather in Houston?
Of course.
I'm gonna give it a few more minutes for everybody to join in and everything else. Hey, everybody, I know I gave a story a while back. I'll bring it up again. I just want to go ahead and get something going. Josh Martin is actually the person that I did my first Instagram live deal in Canada. So whenever you hear me talking about that deal, this is the gentleman who brought it. We actually met after a GrowthCon. It was GrowthCon 2020. We actually did a live event. We did a live together. He jumped on and we were talking different elements of business and real estate, and one thing led to another. I think we were on that live for like 4 hours, just BSing, and then
I didn't.
and then we became pretty good friends talking about real estate. Since he had a passion for it and everything else, it was a great relationship on that one. So not too bad. We'll get some more people coming in, hopefully. If not, hey, it's still a good group. We'll get something going. All right. It's 8 o'clock. We can go ahead and start. We'll see who else jumps in. Yes, anybody can invite anybody to the meeting. I don't mind. It's all educational. So let's go ahead and bring as much people that we can bring in. Now Adam, now they're coming. Here we go. Now we're coming. Here we go. What's up, Adam? My man. Isabella. Look at that, Vernon, man. My man.
What's up, pimp?
Not much, brother. How you doing?
Man, just trying to do my thing over here.
You always do, brother.
Yeah, man. Figured I'd show some love. So I'm
Thank
here.
you. I do appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Hey guys, a little bit about me. Many of you are you know who I am. My name is Victor. I am Victor the Connector, which was given to me by my 10X family, believe it or not. It was given to me actually at GrowthCon 2021. It was a great opportunity and an honor for that. One of the things that we do here at BB Homes, we try to go back and help as many people as possible, finding that missing element, listening to their story, and finding a way to go back and solve their problem with a solution. So as many of you here, we're all in the real estate sector, one way, form, or another. It could be single family, it could be commercial, it could be wholesaling, it could be lending. Real estate is a beautiful thing that has many assets that you can go back and make a career in, right? And so what I want to go back and do, if this works out, maybe do this in a 2 times every other week, maybe, or maybe once a month, to go back and bring people together, answer any questions. Maybe we can start looking into JVing into a lot of deals. Right now, we're about to go into a market that is going to be looking for creative financing, sub-2, seller finance, owner finance. There's always going to be a different outlook on how to go back and take down a piece of property, even in the multifamily commercial side. Because now with the interest rates going to be so high, we got to figure out a way to keep our cash flow flowing. And that's one of the main things we have to go back and do, is to educate and find new methods to add to our arsenal so we can go back and build from that. And the only way we can do that is through a community and be able to go back and spitball different ideas And that's what I want to go back and do. And thank you all for coming in. And if you don't mind, what we'll do here in a little bit, do a quick something that you do that you love, what your sector is in, and you're able to go back and give us a little bit of a summary of what you do. If you're brand new, hey, that's okay. We're all started somewhere brand new, but we're also here to go back and help each other out. And so, and then if you don't mind, tell everybody how we met, because everybody here are one way connected to me. And I want to go back and connect you with other of my networks. So Javi, you want to take it forward first?
Okay. My name is Javier Diaz. I'm from Cuba. I've been here for 3 months. I've been in US for 3 months. I started doing real estate in China. Actually, I was living there for 7 years. That's how I started. I was studying real estate, and I did it also in my country, in Cuba. Right now I'm here. I'm with my partner. We are doing new construction in the area of Naples, the surrounded areas like Cape Coral, Lehigh, in those areas. Right now I have 4 houses under construction. Not that big, but Victor told me, no, this is big, Javier. So I'm I'm sharing this with you right now. I'm new to Sub2 family, and I met this amazing human being that is called Victor the Connector. Guys, ladies, gentlemen, we're talking about someone who is willing to take his some time to talk to. It doesn't matter who you are, what experience do you have. He's willing to take the time to talk to you, to give you some good advice in real estate and in your own life. These amazing people, this amazing human being, Victor.
Thank you.
I would like to say thanks again, Victor. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Israel?
Hello, my name's Israel Hillier. I'm located just south of Houston, Texas. I've been in the real estate game full time since December 2018, and know Victor through one of our Texas RIAs, really. Meet up there, one of our groups. And I mainly do single family. I've been doing single family for a long time. I do have some multifamily. I have a couple deals with Grant Cardone, of course, Mr. 10X. And then I've got a 5-plex up in Bryan, Texas. And the rest are single family. I mainly focus on buy and holds. I do fix and flips. I do subject to wraps, you name it, pretty much everything that we ran through. I've done it or do it. I'm also a coach for our program that I'm in with Mr. Victor on the single family side, real estate. So I help that organization with coaching programs, coaching new students and stuff in single family.
Awesome.
So that's my history. And I've known Victor a few years now, right?
Yeah, it's been a minute or two.
Yeah. When back pre-COVID when we were traveling a lot.
One more thing, guys. The people that are in this room are from my Big Dog family, my 10X family, and also my Sub2 family. And we actually have people outside from those mentorships that I personally are involved in. But just like Israel, he's also a 10Xer and a Big Dog. And then we have other people here are Sub2 and 10X. So there's a mixture of different mentorships here. And this is what I love about it, that we have a huge diversity that we can go back and implement into this team and start getting different ideas. Adam?
Hello, I met Victor through Sub2. I've been in real estate full time since April. Actually, have a mentor that I've been working with. He's been doing real estate for a while, like 5 years. I used to live in California, but then I moved my family out here to do it full time. So pretty excited. get involved in everything. And then we got we're working primarily in Galveston, looking for like short-term rentals and stuff. Actually closed on one a couple weeks ago, so pretty excited about that.
Congrats.
Gonna turn to an Airbnb, and then let's see, got another one under contract trying to wholesale. But yeah, just learning and excited to be here.
Awesome. Awesome.
Oh yeah, located in Frisco, North Texas.
Awesome. Miss Moon.
Hi. So my name's Trita, and I met Victor because I'm a new member of Sub 2, relatively new. And he was so kind to reach out to me from the beginning. And it's been a great experience getting to know Victor, and super excited to be in this group and to get to know you all. I am in Jacksonville, Florida, and I have a service business here. I service short-term rentals and manage them. And I am what do I say? So
You're a
yeah,
transaction coordinator.
yeah.
Guys,
Transaction coordinator.
if you need some paperwork done and everything else in real estate, I would definitely talk to her and get you all set up. So it's a good little person to have in your arsenal too.
Yes, and I'm going to be talking a little bit more about that later.
Awesome.
So
Thank you. Mr. Josh.
What's going on, my buddy? Hey guys, I am Victor's international investor. I did my first deal with Victor up here in Canada, and we had only known each other for like 6 months, and I was like, hey, send me some money, and it worked out. So I obviously do real estate. I'm in a development world. I work for a very large developer up here in Canada. When I say large, they are buying hundreds of acres left, right, and center. So I'm getting my into that right now and managing a couple of their projects. And then my side hustle that is growing faster than I thought it was going to be. I do leadership and mentorship for people that are in a new management position, new leadership position, and want to like further themselves within their business.
Awesome. Mr. George P.
Hey, everybody. George P. from Houston, Texas. I met Victor, I believe, in a networking event with JJ maybe a month or two ago. And he's been reaching out to me and finally got connected maybe a couple days ago. Been real estate investing for about a year, mainly just watching, not taking no action. The last 6 months, I've been taking action as basically like lead managing, getting cold calls and just, trying to get them through the pipeline. And that's where I'm at now. And hopefully, with the help, getting to know y'all, maybe I can add some value to one of y'all and I can, back and forth. But appreciate it, Victor. I look forward to growing with y'all.
Oh, of course. Miss Christie.
Am I already not on mute?
You're good now.
You're pretty quiet.
I've been clearing my throat this whole time. Sorry. Hey guys, my name is Christy. I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth market. And excuse me, me and my team actually met Victor, I think it was a couple months ago, right after he joined Sub 2, and we brought him in as a private lender for one of our arbitrage deals. So right now we're focusing on mainly the arbitrage model for midterm rentals. So I'm the one that actually works with the property owners to get the lease signed and then continue the relationship forward. We also buy creatively. So if anybody's got any to dispo in Dallas-Fort Worth, I can send you a buy box.
There you go.
Look forward to collaborating with anybody and everybody on here. If I can bring y'all value by being your last resort, using the arbitrage model, I'll help you out.
Awesome. Mr. Mark.
Hey, hello everybody. Mark Hannon, I'm in the DFW market, as well as in the Costa Rica market. I met Victor, many times. We had a big event, big grand opening for a large building, and we all had a big dinner, and we just hit it off. I think Victor's like the one-man rocket machine. He's networked with everybody. He can talk to anybody. Victor's the man. I'm in the corporate housing world. I've done development. I have a company called Kyle Capital, and we've combined the corporate leasing with also with the rental arbitrage. But we have another model that we're building into, and we'll spill those beans in a little bit. But we do a lot of different things. We have 20 plus properties that we do along with the corporate housing. So building, corporate housing, and combining together with some of you doing the buy and holds. Buy and holds our thing. We look for portfolio deals. We do a lot of different things, and we specialize mostly though with the corporate leasing, corporate housing. We're in 3 states and also Costa Rica.
Awesome, awesome. Mr. Vernon.
Hey, I'm so glad I had that on mute. I had to double check for a minute. But hey, everybody, I'm Vernon. Hey, I am a retired fire chief for 28 years. So I tell you right now, I absolutely hate talking about myself. I don't know how to do it, so I'm gonna try my best. I've been retired for about 2 years now. I did a fix and flipping off and on for about 12 years, several years back. So I know a little bit about housing structure between doing that and my career in the fire service. I've done any and everything under the sun that you can imagine in a firehouse. That was me. I like pre-foreclosures. And the reason why I like pre-foreclosures is I like to try to go in and help people when it's an opportunity to help them. And then if they can't, then we go from there and I get to practice being creative. I really love the creative method. I'm in sub 2. I've been in sub 2 for about, I think this is month 3, maybe month 4 for me. I'm not sure. Once I retired, I lost track of days. So I try not to track them too much. I like multifamily. I'm trying to get big into that, but I know it's a long-term play. So, in the meantime, I am going to do single family, and whatever deals come across my way that I think, I can be of any service, of any use. I'm going to try my best to jump into those. I'm very vocal. I like to talk, just not about myself. I talk about people all day long in a good way. I like to be that guy up front talking to people, negotiating. That's just one of the things I'm just pretty good at. I've been doing it for so long with people, trying to get them to do work. So if I can negotiate with folks to do work, I can negotiate with anybody. So figure I'd throw a joke out there. I know it's late. So Victor, I met Victor. I had some questions about a couple multifamily deals because I couldn't just do one. I had to jump in and do 2. And it was some questions where they was a little sketchy. So I jumped in. Victor helped me out a whole lot. I mean, this man put in hours talking to me saying, hey, good deal, bad deal, do this, don't do that, don't be a dummy, all of that good stuff. So Victor, I appreciate you for it. FYI, the one that Pace is talking about right now is the 50plex, the 30 unit is the one that we was talking about. I have to tell you more about that later.
Awesome, dude.
But anyway, everybody, I'm glad to be here. If I can help anybody in any way, let me know. I'm here. It doesn't matter what time. Call me if you need me. I'm here.
Awesome. Thank you. Miss Wendy.
Hey, everybody. I'm Wendy Jakes, and I met Victor through the Big Dog group. I've been in the Big Dogs about a year now, and he was one of the first people I met. Like most of you, he just throws out he casts his his net, and I'm also part of Grant Cardone's group, 10X, and just recently did an investment with him. So I'm in the short-term rental space. I have been. I'm still part-time in real estate. Really want to go full-time. And just recently, in the last couple of months, I've kind of switched my interests to more commercial real estate, specifically multifamily. So I'm just consuming as much information as I can and learning as much as I can, and trying to identify there's a big difference in the two. So I feel like I'm starting over. I'm back down to crawling on the ground. So, but Victor's awesome. We got to meet this last weekend. I was up in Dallas, and so we got together and met for the first time after a year. So that was nice. But yeah, so I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, thank you. And guys, this is not just single family that we do here, it's also multifamily, because that's where our end game is going towards, right? The best number, the number one number we have to worry about is the number of doors, right? And that's what Grant says. The most important number, the number of doors. The more doors you have, the better you can make magic money. And so that's how I go back and take a look at it. Natalia, you up? Nope. Natalia?
Okay. Hey. Let me get out of the noisy area. Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to this group. My name is Natalia Trota, and I met Victor, I want to say January timeframe, and he reached out to me, and he was very persistent, and we've been in a couple of ventures as far as the Airbnb. I was doing Airbnb before I met Victor, and mastered that, as well as went to a venture with Victor on some couple of portfolios. He taught me a lot, and also connecting and having resources around me that I didn't even know. So it's been great. It's going to this venture. I'm also a veteran, Air Force. So, I use that format to help other veterans as well, and just connecting people where I'm needed. And that's my short story. Thank you, Victor.
Thank you. Mr. Peter, you ready? Maybe. Where's Peter at?
All is ready.
There you are. There.
All is ready. All is ready. So yeah, my name is Claudio Peter. I'm in real estate since 2007, and I've been from single family to multifamily. Right now, I'm doing something more unique. I'm switching a little bit the trend through the SaaS, and we're trying to work to create some SaaS that's going to allow to kind of merge the new fintech industry with the real estate. That means we're going to start to use the tokens, NFTs, and anything that's in blockchain towards the real estate to make sure we're going to have a better hand, a better leverage, and creating our own, I'll say, banking that we can use it to buy properties. And so.
Awesome. Who's up? Isabel?
Hi. Sorry, I'm not feeling well, you all, so I'm just gonna keep it short. I met Victor at a sub-2 meeting a couple months ago, I believe, in Dallas when Pace came into town. And I just got my first flip, closed on my first flip a little over a week ago. And I now have a 19 unit and a 21 unit that's kind of fallen in my lap. And I don't know a whole lot about multifamily, but the person who brought it to me is gonna ask me to partner, and so I'm just gonna kind of jump into it and just go with it.
Awesome. Well, we're here. We got a couple of people here who already have some their teeth bitten in it. So you're more than welcome to go back and put your information on the chat, and we can talk to you. They can reach out to you too.
Okay, great.
You can go back and talk to them.
Great, thank you.
Aaron?
Hey everyone, Aaron. Due to the group, I actually don't think we met, Victor, but I've heard a lot about you from Lori and also Jojo, who I've kind of worked with as well. I'm pretty new to real estate still. Only been doing this for a couple of months. I actually just got my first deal a couple of weeks ago. It was a $14,000 deal there in Houston, and it was actually a multifamily. It was a duplex. So I got, I feel like I got pretty lucky with that one. But yeah, I'm in Houston. I marketed in Tennessee as well, and right now I'm in a situation where I'm just trying to learn some more still, and I got some questions, and hopefully one of you guys can help me out.
Of course, man. Congratulations on your first deal.
Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. And yeah, look forward to meeting everyone. Thank you.
Yep. Lori?
Hi, I'm Yori. I'm not Lori.
Yori, sorry.
Yeah. My name is Yori. I just turned 16. I look in Texas. I wholesale in Texas. I just entered real estate like in April because someone invited me to it, and I'm trying to get my first deal. It's been tough, but I'm not giving up because giving up sucks. So yeah, that's about it. I'm trying to get my first deal. So yeah, looking to work with you all. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm sorry, I need to ask a question. Did you just say you just turned 16?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I have a 16-year-old son who is chomping at the bit to get into real estate. So please put your information in the chat because I am going to connect you guys.
Okay.
That is fantastic. I love it. Yes,
Yeah.
I love it.
He actually came and asked me, we actually spent a lot of time together. He's 15 years old. He told me that he doesn't want to go back and go to college. He wants to be in real estate. He wants to go back and stack cash. He doesn't want to do what his dad does for 12-hour day, 8 to 10, 12-hour days. At 15, guys, at 15. And we all figure what's the new generation going to do, and this is what they're doing. They're going and making moves, and I wish I was doing the same thing when I was 15. When I was 15, I was doing stupid things. I was doing dumb things, and so
We were much smarter than him. As smart as him.
I was trying to perfect my hair whip at 15. I mean, I was not even thinking about anything but boys and my hair.
that's right. Isn't that great, Mr. Jake?
Hey, Victor. Yeah, I'm Jake Mouton from South Louisiana. My wife and I have a dirt service business, and we run a bunch of cows down here. So we're looking to trade in some of the cows and invest in more real estate. I met Victor probably a year ago at one of the Grant Cardone clinics in Miami, and just kind of hit it off and swapped numbers and been in touch ever since then. And I reached out to him a couple of days ago, asking questions and looking for more information. So he invited me to the group. So still kind of fresh, but I'm eager to learn.
Well, we'll teach you as much as we know, man, and then some. There's enough knowledge here to take anything down. Jonathan, my brother.
What's up, bro?
What's up, Mr. Professional here?
How are we doing?
We're doing great.
Amazing.
I caught your nightly dial for a little bit.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Awesome. Good deal. Are we going through intros here, or?
Yeah, just do a quick summary of what you do, what we do, and how we met.
Awesome. Okay. So Jonathan Newsom, I'm out of obviously Dallas. I do a little bit of everything minus development. Fix and flip, wholesale, hotel, creative stuff. I'm partnered with a couple of awesome people here in the DFW. We started up a business not too long ago. We do some Airbnbs, arbitrage, short-term rental, mid-term rentals, things of that nature. I met Victor actually, man, what was it? About a month and a half, 2 months ago now?
Like that.
Yeah. We, so we engaged in a conversation. I think we met on one of the, I want to say it was one of the YouTube channels, or maybe it was another.
I think it was a Zoom.
I think it was a Zoom. Yeah, I think it was a Zoom. And then we'd reached out, and then next thing you know, Victor was a little bit newer to one of the communities that we're in together. And man, what, 10, 15 days in into the community, we get to talking and we do a deal together. And so here we are, you know, a couple months down the road, looking to do some more deals with everyone in here. So Victor's a great guy. Appreciate you for bringing me in.
Absolutely. Tracy.
Hi, everyone. I'm sorry. I'm just getting there from getting my kids home, so I apologize. But I haven't got my first deal yet. I started a cleaning company, and we're doing commercial, which is Airbnb and some other commercial buildings. But I met Victor. I believe we were in several groups. I think it was land flipping or something. I can't even recall. Yeah, it was a land flipping. So just happy to be here. I invited a couple people so they can collaborate with you guys, because he's trying to build a whole community. I think it's like over 200 acres of land. And so I invited him to come in to meet the group. So let's go, everybody.
Let's go. Hyman or Hyman. I'm like,
Is he mine? How you doing, Victor? This is
what's up,
Terrell.
brother? How we
How
doing?
you doing, brother? All right. This is Amon Bay. I'm a real estate investor, business consultant, and coach here in Montgomery, Alabama. I've been in real estate investing now for about 2 years now. I've did a total of about 3 deals, commercial, residential, multifamily, but we've only done 1 multifamily deal and 1 commercial and 1 residential. Actually a land developer. I met Victor actually today. Had a conversation about Victor about possibly developing some land down here in Alabama, starting a subdivision for affordable homes, dome homes and containers. So I just wanted to introduce myself, you guys, and look forward to learning some information and getting to network with you guys.
Thank you, sir. Blaine, my man, let's go.
Evening, everybody. My name's Blaine Stubbs. I'm out of Louisville, Kentucky, so probably means that it's the latest for me out of anyone here. I am still very new to real estate. I haven't done a deal yet. I started with the Cody Spurbs, a clever investor, actually. So I first saw on social media and did that, but through all that found Pace, Jamil, got people like that I started to like. You know, in Pace's huge Facebook group, reached out to Victor because I was looking up him specific on just looking for certain type of people, and his information or his post popped up when I was doing that. So it's like, yeah, I think it was something Kentucky based. So his popped up there. So I just asked and just started a conversation going from there. I am, open to doing virtual deals everywhere because the overall goal, I'm 33 right now. And my new goals, I'm in personal finance and insurance. So most trying to teach people about, infinity banking, using whole life cash value life insurance to become your own bank, get out of just putting money in banks. But my new goal is to be retirement capable by 40. Won't retire by then most likely, but I just want to know if I chose to, I would have cash flowing and assets in place where like, yeah, I could, as they say in was The Gambler by John Goodman, a position of FU. So
let's go, baby.
Looking forward to learning and work with everyone.
Thank you.
Cardinal or Wildcat?
Victor, real quick, on that last one, I can tell you I retired from the military at 40 and didn't need a job or anything. It lasted a year before I got completely bored, before I had to start a business, before I got into real estate and did something else. So definitely don't make yourself retire at 40. Be a good experience for a couple months.
Hey, but are you a Wildcat or a Cardinal fan?
I hate UK with a passion. So
okay, you got it right.
Oh yeah, no, I went to U of L. I'm a U of L Cardinal grad. I say my dad's from the North Carolina ACC, so I grew up watching Duke, UNC. So nothing about my life says UK at all.
I'm tracking that.
That's awesome. Awesome. Hey, everybody, thank you for showing up. It means a lot to me. I want you to introduce you just to a small portion of my network. Like I said, we have several different mentorships that I'm in, Big Dogs, up to 10X. And there's going to be more later on that I'll be, because no matter what you do, education is going to be always number one. As long as you go back and invest in yourself, that's the best investment you're ever going to do. It's not just properties and everything else, but a different method a different way to go back and look at things, a different way to go back and do your due diligence, how to underwrite something differently, how to go back and look at a different exit. And that's what we want to go back and do, is help people to understand that real estate is not just one thing. It's a living thing that it goes and grows, and it grows every year. Look at the situation that we're in, the market that we're in. We just went back and came to a seller's market, and now we're transitioning into a buyer's market with a higher interest rate. So it doesn't make sense to refi, because you're going to lose all your cash flow, right? So
Right.
this is where I came and found that sub 2 was the best thing for me to go back and invest my time and energy to educate myself to find a creative way. And with pace and everything, it's been a great way to do it. And then with the people, the community, my family members in the sub 2, man, it has been a great ride. Just like the big dogs, when I first got into it, it was so many people who were there bringing you information, tagging you along, able to ask questions and go and say, hey, this is how I do things. And it's going to be the same way. And I want all the people who hasn't got their first deal yet, that is coming. Be patient, learn it, do it. It's about learning something and then taking action. Don't just learn it, but the thing is, you got to learn it and take action right after. Because if you keep on not doing it, it's never going to happen. So it's like a movement. It's like once you get momentum on this huge boulder, it's not going to stop. And you just have to rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, and repeat. And then utilize the network that you have to ask questions. All of y'all, we have all connected one way or another. And this is a very small piece of my network. And I'm thank you. And this right here is basically just for a select few, because I want to go back and see who will go back and really take value in what we're trying to go back and do. So thank you for everything. I want to go back and share my screen and talk about a couple of things. And it's just an idea of what we want to go back and understand what real estate really is, right? Because real estate is a living thing. We have to go back and learn from it. And the first thing we want to go back and do, besides having an education, is actually build a power team. And having a power team is really essential in what you're going to go back and do, in which direction, how you're going to go back and get things done. And the power team is going to be suited for every person. You can take people in, you can take people out, you can go back and kind of mix it up any way you want to. But this is just a general idea of what you want to go back and look for in the single family market right now. And then we'll go into multifamily later on. Okay. So one of the first things you want to go back and do that it helped me is looking for a good source and to the MLS to get your comps, and that's going to be a real estate agent. Now, don't get one real estate agent. Don't get two real estate agents. You can get up to 5 real estate agents. They're a dime a dozen. And whoever's a real estate agent, I'm sorry, but it's true. What they have is information for you to go back and get comps. Can you get comps to yourself? Yes. But the market changes so much, you want to kind of get the updated comps for that. And only the people who really has it is real estate agents. And that's why you want to go back and try to befriend somebody to go back and help you. And here's the beauty of a real estate agent. Once you go back and purchase a property, fix it up, and you want to flip it, you just hand the baton to the real estate agent to go back and allow you to get the higher number. That's one way. It's not the only way. It's just a way. So you can go back and sell it yourself to save the cost of the real estate agent, but why do that while your job is to look for another piece of property to go back and rinse and repeat? So when you get to a certain stage, you can go back and hand the baton over to the real estate agent, tell them what your number is, and let them go back and work for the commission. Let them work for their money. Allow them to go back and finish it off and get you the price, so you can go back and use that price and all the extra cash flow that you're going to get and move it to the next project. The next thing is a very good title company. A title company is going to be one of your best friends out there. They're going to go back and make sure that everything's in place, make sure your paperwork's good. And then they can also write promissory notes. Some of the title companies also has a lawyer there, so you can go back and utilize the lawyer just in case something happens. And the big dogs has a specific people that we use that we go back and use all the time because they're also big dogs. They're also members of our RIA. And then you want to go back and find somebody like that to place into your arsenal. So whenever you go back and do a close, you know you're in good hands. And the next thing you have to have is a lender. It's all about the money. It's always about the money. You can have all the deals in the world, but you still, no matter what, you still got to get the money. And the money, you can go back and there's several ways you can get money. You can get a lender, which is going to be able to get you a conventional loan. But as today's market is, that's not really an option, right? Because it is still an option, but you're going to be losing a lot of your cash flow going to the high interest rates. Well, what's another way to do it? Private money. Private money can able to get in there, get there fast. You don't have to worry about your credit. You don't have to worry about some things, but one of the things you do want to have to go back and do is try to find some piece of collateral. And what the money is, it's like, I'll give you 30,000, but I want 30,000 worth of collateral just in case you don't pay me back. So make sure you're ready for that. But you can also give them a piece of the pie. Give them a piece of the equity share of the deal that you're working on. So there's so many different ways, and that's the beauty of being in real estate and creative. You can go back and basically structure anything you want. And again, you have hard money. Hard money is going to be a lot more expensive than it is. It's more expensive than conventional, probably, right? It is more than right now, but it's still a way to go back and grab some. Some hard money lenders are able to go back and build a good relationship to get a lower rate. But why? The next one I didn't put on here is actually a hedge fund. And this is something that I was never really thinking about until my partner actually got a call from a hedge fund and actually was able to get $3 million worth of money to go back and take deals down in the single family into the 1 to 4 door market. 3 million, guys. He's able to control his first position. And the only thing he has to go back and do is get the gap. And so that's where I come into play. I find the gap money and I find the rehab money. And then that's going to be my portion to the fix and flips, to the buy and holds. So you have to go back and understand where you fit into this team of yours and what you're good at, what you're not good at, and how you can go back and also find a way to make money. And then the next way is JV. And that's what I'm doing right now with my partner. We're JVing together. We're actually going to build an LLC together because we've already had this honeymoon time. We had our honeymoon already. We had 6 months of working together, doing deals together. I did a whole bunch of private lending with him, and he pays me back. And we did deals together, and he pays me back. So we actually talk about it today, and we actually settled into building an LLC together so we can use that as our entity so we don't have to worry about JV paperwork anymore. So that's another way to go back and move forward into a business of real estate. Find somebody that you're able to work with. Find that synergy. Be able to work with other people, but still make money and build on each other, because this man, his name is George Garcia, this man pushes me so much. He pushes me out of my comfort zone. And it's not a very fun thing, but let me tell you, he fast forwarded my real estate career by 5 years. 5 years, because I already had it planned out, guys. When you find that one partner that gives you that much of a push, you got to go back and do everything possible to go back and keep that relationship, that synergy going. And actually, he used to be a chiropractor. He stopped being a chiropractor to go into real estate. And then he became an agent. And then he decided to be an investor. This is the man who brought me into a deal of 120 acres of lakefront property that we're now 1% JVing with a developer. That itself, guys, has now changed my entire life because of that one man. And we'll talk more about that story, how we connected. The next person you want into this power team is a transactional coordinator. Now, this person is going to be your favorite person in this whole entire team. Why? Well, because they're going to take care of the paperwork from start to finish. I am a visionary. I am not an integrator. I'm the one who sees the big pictures. I can go back and talk, get the deal done, have it signed out. I don't want to take the contract and push it all the way through the whole entire process. And this is where Ms. Moon will come back and talk about that in a little bit. How do we get our leads? Great question. Wholesalers. They're a great asset to your team. Once you find a wholesaler and tell them what your buy box is and what you're looking for, and understand the spread on how each deal is so unique. Each deal is unique. Each seller is unique. Each opportunity is unique. And so you have to go back and structure a certain buy box that you can go back and say, hey, this is what I'm looking for in this area. Because that's where that wholesaler is at, right? And then lead generation, cold calls, texts, lead lists, which comes with pre-foreclosures, and then expired listings on the MLS. Excuse me. And this is where the real estate agents comes into play. They can go back and take a look at the expired listings, and then you can go back and door knock, call, drive for dollars, and get a deal creatively, because they already wasted all this time to go back and get that deal, and it expired because the real estate couldn't do their job right. Just a thought, guys. The next thing, a general contractor. Why do you need a GC? It's because you do not want to do the work. You don't want to do the painting. You don't want to do the flooring. You don't want to go back and do the rehab in the kitchens and bathrooms. You don't want to go back and just in case there's some issues with the roof or the electrical. You want someone who's professional enough to go back and take care of all that for you. And last but not least, a mentorship. And this is really important. By having someone to go back and tell you the do's and don'ts. Do not learn by the school of hard knocks because it gets really expensive. I've been learning real estate for almost 20 years, and I really don't want to go back and tell you that because it ages me. But I bought all the books. I bought the courses, the online stuff. But the only thing that never came with was a mentor. And this is where I wish I knew what I knew now, but we can't live in shoulda, coulda, wouldas. So why not look and be able to understand where we're going by getting the right people involved? So with that being said, I'll stop sharing. This is really important for everybody here, especially the ones who hasn't done a deal yet, right? The people who already done deals already know this, and they customize their power team. Why do they do that? Because they know which part they're going to need and implement those people in their team. So anyone here has questions, please unmute and ask the questions, and we can go back and all answer them in the panel. If not, I'm going to bring somebody on stage. Ms. Moon, you want to talk about your TC?
Does nobody have questions?
I actually have a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm working with the seller currently. She's kind of in this distressed situation where I think she's in pre-foreclosure, but her situation basically is she has a husband that, or her ex-husband actually, is in a mental institute, and she's trying to sell her home. And she's trying to figure out a way to sign the title, you know, because obviously it's going to need both signatures, or can she get away with just like one signature? How would I be able to like go on about that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I wonder if Israel can answer that one. Israel, what's happening is that they found this deal and the husband is actually in a mental institute. And I asked him if the wife had a power of attorney to go back and allow, because he's in a mental institute, they have to have some type of power of attorney, correct? You figure?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. The power of attorney would be the thing to ask for, with him being fully admitted into, she's got to have a power of attorney or something, or a lawyer could go in there and maybe draft it up based on the circumstances. I don't know if that would have to go before a judge. But yeah, I mean, because clearly it states when we're doing any real estate transaction that you're mentally, sound and aware of what's going on. Basically, that keeps us out of lawsuits and stuff. It's some fancy verbiage in there in the contracts, but I've never personally had to deal with that situation, but I would think definitely a power of attorney would be the way to go. If not, a good title company may be able to advise you on that.
Okay. Do you know how typically long that would take to get power of attorney?
She should have a pre-existing power of attorney, that general power of attorney probably, that can cover, like if she has to sell a car, buy a car, sell the house, buy a house. It should be a general because of the situation.
Okay. I think
Good question.
Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Victor, can I add a little bit?
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, in the situation that the person is not capacitated mentally, you do have to go through a judge. The judge is going to create a draft, and based on a medical report, they're going to give the power of attorney to the wife without him to be present, but it has to be done through a judge. And basically has to be with a medical record that's going to be clear stating the fact that the husband is incapacitated to do that. So you have to be very careful with that one, because even if he's going to give a power of attorney, if he's in a condition that he cannot sustain a power of attorney, it could be that the entire power of attorney is going to be considered basically zero or not necessary, not sustainable in court. So very much, it depends very much on the situation in which is the husband right now. If it's mentally, definitely it needs a judge. Is not enough a power of attorney.
Okay.
So,
thank you. Anybody else has any questions or want to add to it? Okay, Ms. Moon.
All right. So I just want to take a little bit of time. Actually, I don't have like a screen share, but I'm going to keep it simple with some really direct points for everybody to follow along. So my name is Trita Moon, and I am a TC. I specialize in creative deals. And so many of you may have heard about transaction coordination, but if you haven't, a transaction coordinator or TC is going to manage that progression of the transaction from open to close of escrow. Many people may wonder, well, isn't it the escrow officer's job to, facilitate that and make sure deals close? But honestly, guys, escrow officers are so busy and they're not equipped to handle all the little nitty-gritties that are involved with complex transactions, things where you got to call and wait on hold for extended periods of time. Like they don't have the capacity to do that. So, it's important to understand the value a TC can bring. So I just want to highlight a few benefits. It really doesn't matter if you're established or if you're just getting started in your real estate investing business. It could be a benefit. So if you're clear on who you are, so I loved how Victor mentioned earlier about knowing who he is and that he's a visionary and that, he's not an integrator, like he knows his strengths and his weaknesses. So if you're like Victor and you have like a clear understanding of like, yeah, I'm not the paperwork person, that's great. TC is actually going to free you up to do those activities that you know you should do to drive the revenue in your business. So and I just wanted to show you guys, if you haven't heard about the Visionary versus Integrator, it's a book. I know it might be backwards, but it's called Rocket Fuel. It's a really good one.
Yeah, this is actually a very good book because it's a very easy read too. You won't believe how easy this read is.
Yep, indeed. So, so yeah, it's a really easy read, and it's really good idea to kind of get a good understanding of where you fit, because what you're going to want is a TC that can actually meet the needs of you and your business, because everybody's different. TCs are different, have different personalities, and are willing to do varying levels of service. For example, if you're like just a pure visionary, or you want to get your contracts and move on, and you don't want to spend any time with paperwork, you know that you're really, really good at getting the contracts, and you're not very organized about it. You could actually have a TC who can come in and make sure, even talk with your sellers if you needed to walk them through the paperwork and make sure everything's done right. So if you need somebody that's really hands-on, a good transaction coordinator can actually do that. Or, if you're enough of an integrator to be fine with like getting, your contracts and having all those things done before you hand them off to your TC, it's possible to do it that way too, and just have your TC submit things and take over from there. So the way you structure it, it really does depend on who you are and your business, even your business model, what you specialize in. So if you're new to the business, a TC is awesome because a TC can help you start out on the right foot. And a good TC is going to help you eliminate like a lot of those rookie mistakes. Guys, like having your paperwork straight is so important, because there's so many people involved, and when something goes wrong, it's not just going to affect you and your business, it's going to affect your partners, it's going to affect your reputation with the seller. It has a lot of ripple effects. So you can have the best of intentions, but if you make a costly mistake in paperwork, it can really cost you your reputation and money too. So also, if you want to create a consistent business, a business that's like a machine and it's cranking out, a deal like in a pipeline, you want to be organized. That way your deals, they can move from start to finish, and it's in a systematic way. So a TC is going to be a key player in making sure your deals actually do make it to the finish line, because I'm sure a lot of they all don't make it. And sometimes that's due to things that could have been mitigated by a good TC. So if you want to have some glue on your transaction, like get a TC, okay? I think, transaction coordination is a simple way to boost your revenue. And that's going to be by increasing the efficiency of your deal flow. So, when you've got more deals making it to the finish line and you have more time to do those activities that are actually going to bring more deals to the table, like it's a no-brainer. So yeah, and I'm really, really passionate about those, like the paperwork being correct and everything being the way it needs to be, because like I said, it has ripple effects. And I actually know personally a wholesaler that I met in my community who was such a nice guy, but something happened like with a sub-2 deal, and it turned into like a nightmare experience. And I know like this guy is he knew what he was doing, but he was so busy and the paperwork was so complicated that something just slipped through the cracks. So yeah, it's important. Any questions, anybody? That's what I had. I just had a brief.
No, that's not, and you did a perfect job doing that because many guys, whenever we go back and do deals, especially depending what it is, you got to have the right person to go back and basically pass the baton. I was actually having a conversation with a gentleman just a couple of nights ago on discussing the process of what we do through the transaction, right? You know, being a visionary versus being an integrator, and building a power team into what you really need to do to get those deals closed. It is basically like a relay race.
Yes.
You have to pass the baton to the right person so you can go back and get to the finish line.
Yeah.
And that right there was the best analogy that I actually came up with. And I want whoever wants to use it, please feel free to use it. And this is what a power team really is actually passing the baton over to the next person so they can go back and do their job and then pass it on, and it goes all the way through until we get to the finish line.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's important to work with someone who you connect with and who's going to care about your business and be invested in the success of your business. And you know, yeah, so it's a very important decision to make if you're in a place where you're considering that. But it's just such a great move to make for anybody.
Awesome. Any question, guys? Go ahead.
How would you go about acquiring one aside from yourself? Or like say going to a network event, or how would you go about, you know, it's not like a job like, hey, we're hiring, or would it be as simple as that? We're hiring transaction coordinators here.
Well, you'd be really surprised because it is a job. It is a vital role into a part of your job, your business. I'm sorry, I couldn't even think the word. Having a TC is really a very vital thing that you want to have. Can you find one? Yes, but you have to go back, trust but verify.
Right.
What kind of deals have you done? What was the most complicated deals? What was the last issue that you have, and how did you resolve it?
Okay.
What was some of the things that you don't do because there's certain things that people can't do?
Right.
You know, it's trust but verify.
Right on.
Miss Mooney, you want to talk a little bit more about it, or what's your point?
Well, I would say referrals are great to have, you know, like if you have a community that you're in, find out who other people are using, because that goes really far.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? All right, I'm gonna share my screen again. Where is it at? Here we go. That's our, let it come up. We're good. All right. That's the power team. Now we're going to go back and talk about one of my favorite subjects, your brand. Your brand is going to be who you are, what you do. The brand that I was, before you see this right here behind me, that's who I am now. I am VB Homes, I am VB Investments, and I have another LLC called Iron Horse Investments of Texas too. Those are who I am. This is what my business do. This wall was full of 10X. This wall was full of big dogs. Because why? Because I was learning from my mentors and I was showing love back to them. So whenever we had a Zoom, you would have seen my bag full of 10X, Grant Cardone, and everything else. Now, I still have one of my favorite posters, which I haven't taken down. This is that one. Don't be a little bitch. And I looked at that every day. Why do I keep that there? It's a daily reminder that you still have to go back and do your job. You have to go back and put in 110% no matter what you do. Don't do a job half-assed, because it's just going to make you look bad in front of your rest of your network. You don't want that. So what is your brand? What I do, I love. I love doing videos. Why do I like doing videos? Because I can go back and use who I am, being transparent, and tell you what I'm doing, what I do, and how I can help you. That's the summary. And then you can go back and post that all over social media. You can put it on YouTube, you can put it on Facebook, you can put it on Instagram, you can put it on LinkedIn, you can put it on any social media market, so you can go back and get that exposure. You can put it on different groups that you're in. You have to be careful because I already got 2 of them that got denied because of this. And you have to be careful because you did sign an agreement that you're not going to go back and do solicitations and X, Y, and Z, right? But if you go back and do say, hey, this is Victor from VB Homes of Texas coming to you live from Dallas, Texas, and go through your spiel, hey, it's great. The next thing is text and comment on social media. What do I mean by that? I'm talking about going to social media and commenting on everybody that you're connected into your network. Grant Cardone, Pace Morby, Phil and Shanoa, Israel, all the people that you see here, whenever you post something, I will go back and like. I'll go back and comment. Why do I do that? Well, there's a reason for everything. And the reason is to be omnipresent. You have to be omnipresent to everybody, your network, your mentors, people even you don't even know. There's people here that came to this live because they don't know me yet, but they say, why not? Because of the curiosity. What is Victor about? What is VB Homes about? What is VB Investments about? What can I go back and learn? Who's going to be there? Why are they there? What are we talking about? It's curiosity, guys. And you got to keep that curiosity going every single time. Always talk about your deals. Talk about your deals because this is who you are. This is what you do. This is your business model. Talk about your wins, but also talk about your losses because that shows you that, hey, I didn't get this deal this time, but I know what I did wrong. I'll go back and call in a month and hit it again. Because it might not be the right time right then, but it might be a better time next month. Because you let them wait just a little bit more, you may get a better deal. So you never lose, you learn. Remember that. You never lose, you learn. The next thing, networking. This is my favorite place. This is where I feel comfortable in. This is where you can go back and start meeting people from different areas, title, talking about RIAs, title companies, lending companies, wholesalers, mentorships, 10X, Big Dog, Sub2. This is where you're in your element that you can go back and say, hey, hey, how you doing? My name is Victor. I'm from VB Homes. Yes, I know who you are. You know how many times I get that? It's because I'm becoming omnipresent in my network. And once you become omnipresent, you start getting that name. And it's good to have a name. It's great to have a name because now you have credibility. So when it's time to go back and do a deal, hey, would you work for Victor? Yeah, we just did a deal just when he first got into Sub2, 15 days in, we got a deal. We've made some money. We're going to go back and make some more deals. Why not? Let's do it. Let's roll. Let's make it count. Never stop hustling. And it's an all day, everyday concept, guys. A next thing I would highly suggest, this is a highly thing that I would highly suggest is getting something what we call an electronic business card. This little baby right here will help you to go back and make sure your information goes into their phone, have them fill it out in front of you, hit enter, and now you have their information in your phone because that's the new way we do business. Now, does this work? A business card? Yes, it does work, but that means that you have to go back and input that information in their phone. How many of y'all have inputted business cards in your phone? And I'm gonna show you something. You see this baggie right here? You see this baggie right? This baggie is full of business cards that I have yet to input it into my phone. Why? Because it takes time, it takes effort. I'm looking at deals, I'm talking to people on the phone, I'm doing Zoom calls, I'm making moves and everything else. Now I have to go back and get one of my kids to go back and start putting this in here because, you know, I gave them life, so that it's time to pay up. But when we go back and do it and go into a network, we're a servant to the people. We're a servant to the person in front of us. We're there to find their problems. We're there to connect with them and find them a solution. We are there to help and serve first. And that's how you become a brand. This is how you can come back and get more people coming to you and finding you. Hey, I want to work with Win. I want to work with Adam. This is why I work with them, because they go back and do what they say. And this is how you're going to be very successful, is because you're putting the work in now. So remember that, guys. Any questions? Somebody has to have a question. Josh? No. Go ahead, Vern.
Hey, so Victor, and this is not just directed towards you, but I want to direct it towards everybody on the panel here. And most of you all have been in full-time real estate investing a whole lot longer than me. How do you get past the buyers are liars and sellers are worse? And in addition to that, how do you learn to trust people without a honeymoon period? Trust in people.
Trial and error and a mentor, like Victor had said.
Okay.
Somebody that you can bring deals to, bring things up that you're struggling with, and ask them, you know, what do you feel on this deal? What do you see? Bringing in that outside source that doesn't have an emotional connection to it can do you a world of good. Victor and I talked through thousands of deals in the last year, and we're like, nope, that one's no good, and we bugger it off, right? But Victor brings me into it because he's attached to it and thinks it's a great deal, and I do the same thing to him. But by talking through it, we're like, yeah, nope, actually it's a shit deal, move on. So having somebody to go through that stuff and can connect you to people that know those things is the biggest step that you could take for yourself.
Thanks,
just to piggyback on that, do JV agreements and have it done by your lawyer. Set that up, make sure it's locked tight, that it gives duty and responsibilities of each party, what you're bringing to the table, what your duties and responsibilities are through the deal, through the contract, whether you guys sell it or whatever you guys going to do with it. But definitely back everything up legally. And then after if you do a couple deals and you like your partner, do exactly what Victor was talking about earlier. Go ahead and start an LLC with that person.
Yeah, it's tough, guys. You know, you have to have that honeymoon period in there because you got to go back and trust but verify. It took me 7 months before we decided to think and talk about building an LLC, okay? Because we're talking about your future, you're talking about your reputation, we're talking about your business. And that in itself is worth a lot. And you want to go back and make sure you want to have that marriage that you're going to be locked into and make sure it's going to last for a long time. Johnson, you want to say something about it? I know you do a lot of deals.
Yeah, I'll definitely chime in. Thanks. So part of the question was, how do you trust someone that you just met, right? How do you guys get to doing some deals together? And I think a lot of that is credibility and reputation, right? So in the groups that you guys are in and the communities that you guys are in right now, you can see either in the forums or on social media or on Facebook, you know, in the group pages, who the active guys are, right? They're posting constantly. So you can see, all right, this guy's doing this guy's doing that. This person's a go-giver. This person's like an action taker. They're documenting the process through and through. So you know, you're keeping tabs on it, right? It's popping up on your feed every so often. And so if you find yourself asking the question like, hey, this guy that's super active in my group, I know exactly the way he moves or she moves. I know exactly what they're up to day in and day out because they're constantly posting, they're constantly helping and providing value to other people. And they approach you and say, hey, I want to do some deals with you. I think it's hard to trust someone right off the bat, but their reputation and credibility speaks volumes about the type of person that they are. And if you can, I guess, have like a little bit of trust that based off of those things, the relationship and the deals and the business that you're going to do are probably going to go in the right direction, right? So you definitely want to be aligned and you want to have that alignment, right? Do they align with what they're doing? Does it align with your purpose, your goals, your vision? And if it does, I think, it's worth trying it out.
Beautiful. I love it. Mark, I know you do a lot of deals, Mark. What do you got your little thing going and everything else. So you have to go back and deal with a lot of people because of your expertise that you're in, the field that you're building.
One of the big things is you have to read people and get that vibe. And the only way to do that is actually spend time with them. You don't need to force that deal with the person. And the alignment, this is what you do, and this is what you're weak in. You need someone who does the opposite of what you do or can fill that void. Once you know what you need from that other person or what they can need from you, then spending time, go sit down, have that meal, have that dinner, or do the opposite. Just go have some fun together so you get that true person and how they think, what their philosophy is. And are they picking up the tab? Whatever the case may be that aligns with your values. Once you get that, you'll know the right thing. I mean, that gut feeling is everything. And then, of course, TBV. Without TBV, you can do a small deal. We go back, we do a lot of that. We hire and fire a lot of people, but the people that stay around, stay there with you, and are constantly in alignment with you, those are the ones you want to go and do the deal with. And then once you do that one deal, like some deal I did with a guy named Walter, we just kept doing deals over and over and over and over again because it just got so good. He just loved that money coming in. I love getting the bills done. Once you get that vibe, that energy, you just stay with them, stay with them. But in the end, you also always still have to TBV with that person because people have direction changes. And so there's nothing more valuable than TBV. Even when deals are getting good, you've done 5 or 6 deals together. So loyalty to the company, loyalty to the team, and an alignment and vision. I think that's the essence of having a great partnership.
Awesome.
I wanted to hit on that real quick, just because Peter said give the benefit of trust, and I don't have real estate specific, but just in life in general, I'm easily one of the least trusting, or at least most of my life. I trust no one. I like low expectations. I can't disappoint you, all that mentality. And it's been in my 20s, I started to shift. Like, I've never liked people as a whole. I'm just gonna be, I don't. People annoy by, but I've become to tolerate them more or, get better. So I like that, just to give the benefit of trust. My thing with, you're going to get screwed over in life. It's an inevitability, but you're going to lose a lot more opportunities going in there with complete distrust or negativity than you are if you go in with positivity. You're going to gain a lot more from just being open to things. You'll lose some, but you'll still gain far more than you lose as far as trusting people. Do your due diligence, of course, but give the benefit of trust until they give you a reason not to.
I want to say two things to that really quick. One, Blaine, is there any big dogs or big gurus out there that you aspire to be like, or maybe that inspire you? They're moving in a direction that you want to move in.
I would say, as far as what I've learned and seen so far, Pace is probably the closest one. I'm a single father, unfortunately, right now, but just a family man, making time for his career, his family, big on that. And then there's a gentleman who just local for me. He's an Amway guy. So I did Amway before, but I didn't really do it. I'm thinking about getting back into it, especially if I get into rentals, putting Amway products in there. But his sons are a little bit younger than my daughter. She's turning 6, and he's got a great career ahead of him. He's only 36. He's retired from corporate. But the big thing is, family time for him. He's even talking about For him, he would like to just hire a tutor, keep the children at home, or be able to travel, that kind of freedom and everything with the job and with the lifestyle. So those are two aspirations of people I kind of like working towards that lifestyle myself.
Love it. Love it. So those two guys right there, those are great answers. So if Pace approached you tomorrow and said, "Hey, Blaine, I've got this awesome deal that I want to partner with you on," how would you respond to that?
I'm going to say, let's talk the deal over. And then I'm going to talk it over with someone who I trust in the field, who knows more than me, to see, get their feedback to see if they think it also makes sense.
Wonderful. Would that be the same approach with the Amway guy too?
Probably pretty close. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the reason I'm asking is because we have this idea of, what right or what good looks like. Right. And so that was my example earlier, is if we see people in our communities that are moving the way that those people that we aspire to move like are moving, then those are the people that we're going to naturally be attracted to. Right. And so that's the direction that you want to head in. The other thing is that I heard you mention, you're going to get screwed over sometime in life, right? It's inevitable. And that, I think, is a mindset shift, right? If you look at it as a screw over, you attract what you expand your mind on, right? So if exactly. And so if I'm thinking I'm going to get screwed over, I'm going to get screwed over, right? If I look at it as a learning lesson or something other than a screw over, right, then it is what it is. But I think a little bit of, sorry, I got an incoming call, a little bit of mindset development, right, might help you out. And then I know you have the benefit of trust. That's the thing that you touched on. Honestly, for me, it was a big mindset thing. Right. I had to get over a lot of mindset stuff in order to be at the point where I'm like, okay, I'm comfortable with having this conversation with so-and-so and going over this deal and not thinking that I was going to get screwed over, because I was in the same space 100% years ago. But I think you're in the right community, dude. I think you're in front of the right people here. I think you're just based off of what you're saying, you're headed in the right direction. So I appreciate you sharing that.
And mindset is a huge thing. I just told someone earlier today, I no longer see anything as a sacrifice. It's just a prioritization. So I'm not sacrificing working this weekend with my daughter. I'm prioritizing spending time taking her up to Columbus. Like that's the priority versus not a sacrifice.
Love that.
Absolutely. And, Jonathan, thanks for that. And it's true, guys. It's all about mindset and who we go back and surround ourselves with, right? We want to go back and make sure we're making right decisions. We want to make sure we're doing good for our business. We want to go back and make sure we're moving that needle in the right way. And it's difficult. Who has the answer? Well, you don't know until you know, right? Once you become more of an expert, do more deals, and you know who you're able to go back and work with. And once you find that person, like for myself, George is my partner. I have Jonathan is my partner. I got Christy here as my partner. I've done deals with people here in this room. Mark and I are going to go back and do business. Miss Moon, everybody here has the opportunity for us to work together one way, form, or another. Why is that? It's because, like we said, we're going to go back and make major moves, and we're going to go back and change everybody's lives. It only takes one deal to go back and change your life. And that deal just happened for me with my partner. Is it the last one? Did I get that one deal? Am I going to quit? Well, hell no. I just got room. I got cushion. I'm going to go back and look for the next thing. I'm going to go back and look at multifamily. Now I'm going to get with Israel. Hey, Israel, this is what we're going to go back and do. We're going to go back and knock this thing down. Houston is hot for multifamily. Dallas is hot for multifamily. Where to go next? San Antonio. It's a great market. Who doesn't like San Antonio? It's like there's so many different ways to go back and better yourself, not just yourself, your business, but your legacy. And this is what I'm building for myself. It's a legacy. I'm building this for me, but I'm leaving it to my kids. So when my kids get to this point, I want that to feed into their lives and possibly a couple of generations afterwards. Because my kids, my daughter is my CPA, my oldest. My youngest daughter, she's learning how to do property management for two of my mentors. So what does that mean? I already have people coming in, and I already have my kids structured so they can understand the business. So when something ever happens to me, it'll still continue going. It's not going to die. That will is continue moving in the right direction. And I want my kids to go back and keep on riding that ride as long as possible to allow them to live a comfortable, more comfortable life than I have. And that's all our dreams, from any parent to any future parent. That's what we want. So, hey, thank you, Blaine, for giving that to us. I was going to ask Miss Wendy if she wants to go back and talk about that too, since she's also a business coach.
Yeah, the best.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with everything everyone is saying. It's just mindset and connecting with people. And I think that this group is a great group to connect with. So I'm not really sure if I can add anything to what you guys said.
Anybody else have any questions?
I just wanted to add one more thing to what we've already talked about. I keep saying the whole trust but verify, but if you read into that, what that means is it means don't trust. That's exactly what it means. And so, you guys forced me into it. You're going to get a military story now. So in the military, I'm doing what I was told by the commanders, whatever, or the command sergeant major. Hey, you're doing a great job. Oh my God, you're making this look so good. The entire installation looks phenomenal. It's just so amazing. But listen up. I love you to death, but I'll sacrifice you. Okay, and so that's on the military side. But what they're saying is, don't get too comfortable, even though you're doing excellent work. And so if you keep that mindset that I want to do great, I want to do well for the whole group, everybody's contributing that way. But that trust is trust in you, not somebody else. So keep that in mind. Trust yourself that you will know when the right time is to back away or to keep going. I digress.
Love it. Love it. I think I got one more.
Keep going.
Say what?
I said keep going.
I think I got one more slide and we can call it a night. Let's see. Maybe not. I got two more. Okay. I think we're up. Okay. Creative versus traditional. This is the reason why I joined Sub 2 is for the creative side. Learning from Pace has been a ride, say the least. Not just because of him, but with the family. And this is kind of what mimics what the big dogs had too. Is all this information is right there. And whenever you ask a question and place it on the forum, on Facebook or whatever, you'll get a response. And that's what I love about this also too with Sub 2 family members, is that when you have a question, they come in drones, just like big dogs. And that's what makes it so comfortable for me to go back and go back and forth between big dogs and Sub 2 and 10X, because you have that similarity between all three mentorships. But the main reason why I went back and joined Sub 2 is to find a better way to take down a deal. Why not learn from the person who's basically wrote the book? Different ideas, different methods and everything else. So far, that was my choice, because I actually saw Pace for the first time live at 10X GrowthCon, this last one. He went on stage with Jamil and talked about stages, one of the new concepts that Grant Cardone has for the 10X family, a new product, how to go back and talk to the masses. And the only way you can talk to the masses is on stages. and get so good at it so you can go back and capture their attention and keep it. And he did. Pace did that. He did that before that. And I followed Pace before, but I wasn't really following him that much because I wasn't in that right element yet. And I'm not sure if many people here knows this, but I just celebrated my 4th month anniversary quitting my W-2 job 5 days ago. And it's a big accomplishment, and I'm so happy. And when I tell that to my 10Xers, my big dogs, and my sub-2 family, you know the first thing they tell me? Congratulations. Do you know what happens when I tell somebody else who's not in my groups? What are you going to do? Are you going to get another job? They have that scarcity mindset. And this is what I love about groups that I'm in right now, because we don't have scarcity. Because we have a plan in motion. And this is one of the things I want to talk about. Sub-2. Sub-2 is going to go back and be the best way to go back and capture real estate in the single family market. Is it the only thing we can do in single family? No, you can also do it in commercial, multifamily, mobile home parks, RV parks, boat and RV storage units. We'll talk about that here shortly. But you're able to capture a different way to be creative buying. A sub-2 hybrid is between a sub-2 plus a seller finance, which is what we call a hybrid. And again, you also have a seller owner finance. And there's 2 more methods in here called the Morby method and also Novation. I'm not an expert on it. If you want to know more, follow Pace Morby. Or you can ask some of the sub-2 students here like Jonathan and Christy to go back and tell you a little bit more about it. I am not an expert on that because I haven't done that. Creative to sell. You can do seller, owner finance, wraps, rent to own in Texas, right? We can't do lease options. Maybe there's a little fine line. You can go back and kind of wiggle room on it. But you can also do buy and hold, short-term rentals, Airbnb, VRBO, long-term rentals, professional rentals. Just like Mark has he has a concept which will blow your mind. And then fix and flips. That's some of the things that you can go back and do creative versus a traditional way, because if you do it a traditional way, it's going to get a little bit more expensive. And last but not least, guys, my favorite subject, commercial real estate. Why commercial? Well, the reason why I love commercial is because you have so many doors in one location. You can have so many doors that you're able to go back and build your portfolio so much quicker. The cash flow is there and build. You're able to put and move things a lot quicker that way. And you're able to manage it with a better solution in one location than several. Multifamily is going to be anything between 5 doors or more. So what we're looking here now in VB Investments is looking between 35 doors to 99 doors. That's what we're going to go back and be focusing on. And why are we doing that? Well, the main reason is less competition. You're able to go back and take those down with people here in this room. You're able to go back and take it down and actually build your own property management team and take care of that. And you're able to go back and capture a lot more of the cash flow and distribute it into your business partners as well. And think about it. If you get 2 35 units, 2 55 units, 2 75 units, and 205 units, what does that come out to be? That's money, because you're able to go back and capture that. It could be multifamily. It can be mobile home parks. It can be RV parks. And one of my favorites that I am so anxious to get my first boat and RV storage unit. Why? No tenant. You don't have to worry about the tenants. The tenants are going to pay the rent, because they're not going to be, you have mini storages. You have people who buy their mini storages and leave their crap behind. But if you have people who have boat and RV storage units, guess what? They're paying their bill, because they have a boat, they have an RV, they have a car, they have their toys in there. And so they will pay you back. So it's a cash cow. The next thing, land. Land is gonna, I just now first did my first land deal, guys. My first land deal that my partner brought me into, and it has been a life-changing opportunity. And you're able to go do so much with it, is that you're able to develop it in so many different facets: multifamily, mobile home parks, mobile home communities, boat and RV storage units, and RV parks. So the land is there to go back and make it anything you want. And the only difference between that is your power team. You need a commercial real estate agent broker, a developer, a civil engineer that has an architect, a builder, a lender, and of course, a TC. So this right here is going to be one of my favorite subjects that we want to go back and build with VB Investments, is to go back and take down models of multifamily, models of mobile home parks, models of RV parks, and models of boat and RV storage units. And we have people here who already has that under their belt. And we have people outside this room that has already became very familiar in those markets. And sometimes the only thing we're missing, it's a sponsor. We need a sponsor to go back and get the loan. But we have enough people here to go back and get the down payment and take down monsters like this day in and day out. So there's a reason why I ask everybody to come here, is to give you an idea where VB Homes and VB Investments is going. And I would love to have the opportunity to go back and present any deal that I'm about to go back and do and present it to y'all, and see if you're willing to go back and join us into that venture and taking some of these beautiful properties down and build generational wealth. So thank you everybody for this time. If you have any questions, please unmute and ask. Adam?
I got something.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Adam.
Oh, not a question, just excited to work with you guys and get started. I wouldn't mind tackling one of those deals. Wouldn't mind that at all. And I was kind of interested in some of you guys said you're investing in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I kind of wanted to get something around here just because I love around here. So that'd be kind of nice to work with you guys and some of that too. And I never heard of the midterm arbitrage. So I'd be kind of curious to know more about that.
Absolutely. Israel?
I'm good. Appreciate you putting this together. Victor, like the introduction before, if you haven't guessed it, yeah. Big Dogs, that's my main thing that I started with back in 2018. I'm also a coach for Phil and Shanoa. Grant Cordone, I'm in passively on 2 of his deals, 804 units total. So, you know, I'm looking, I would love to do some deals here in and around Houston or Texas area, some commercial. Haven't done any development yet. I've been really contemplating that here recently. Yeah, let's do some deals.
Let's do it, man.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I got something. So, hey, yeah, real quick. I guess I was talking earlier. I didn't unmute myself, so I feel like a dumbass for that. But well, I take my L for that later. But hey, first of all, I'm glad I got to meet everybody on this panel. If anybody want to do some deals, you know, there's tons of deals out there. I'd love to work with each and every one of you. You can talk to me offline afterwards. I got several, you know, I'm that visionary type. I'm out all the time looking for a deal because there's always a deal somewhere. So I got several things, Victor, you know, I got some things in my pocket right now. I'd love to talk to you, some of you, if y'all interested in Corpus Christi here in Texas. I got about 500 units out here. you know, that they're looking to get a contract put in on. I got some people talking in San Antonio about some property. So, and then there's some other properties in some other places. But yeah, let's do some deals together, y'all. If y'all looking for that person to go out and boots on the ground and negotiate like crazy, that'll be me. You know, let's do it. That's all I got for now.
Who else we got?
This
There you go. Go ahead. Jonathan?
Is that somebody else that was talking?
They
yeah, I'll wait, bro.
Go ahead, brother.
Oh no, I was just saying, if anybody's looking for any properties or any deals here in Alabama, I talked to Victor earlier, and I was letting him know that where we at down here in Alabama, man, land is very cheap down here right now. They're gentrifying a lot of neighborhoods, so I mean it's a lot of pre-foreclosures, a lot of motivated sellers, commercial, residential properties here. So if anyone's looking to connect or do any type of land development here or any type of deals here, you know, you guys can reach out to me. Like the brother was just saying, you need somebody with boots on the grounds to get it done. I know an Indian guy, they actually own a hotel. And so it's plenty hotel units here, abandoned hotels that are up for sale that the city done got a hold to here in Alabama. So I was telling Victor, it's very lucrative here in Alabama, especially for outside investors and developers. So if anybody, you know, like I say, want to work on any deals or anything here in Alabama or in the surrounding areas, you guys can get at me.
Awesome. Mr. Peter? You've been kind of quiet. Are you there? Maybe not. Jonathan?
What's up, brother?
Hey, man, everybody, I know it's getting late, and I do appreciate your time. I'll go ahead and close this out. I'm gonna stay behind a little bit. If anyone wants to go back and talk about any deals, I'll stay behind and we can talk about some of your deals. I know Javi's wants to go back and talk about his deal in Florida. And then Terrell, I know you want to talk about a little bit of what you're doing, and you're more than free to exit anytime you want. And guys, I greatly appreciate this. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna save this recording. And if you want to hear it again, just let me know. I'm gonna stick it into a Google Drive that you can have access to it. Just let me know
Mr. Victor.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Victor, sorry about that, but you know, I had family duty. But anyway, but here we go. You know, I just, you know, like I want to be grateful for sharing your wisdom with everybody. So I appreciate everybody, and yeah, looking forward. And I was posting in the chat if anybody wants to learn more about some affordable housing projects here now in South Florida. Victor knows more about it. He knows what I'm doing, and feel free to connect with him, and we can work together definitely. And last but not least, we do have an event that, you know, for those that they still need help on the mindset and on more on the business side, we're gonna have an event this weekend. And again, Victor has a link that he can share with you, and feel free to join us. We're gonna have it on 3 days of event, 15, 16, and 17. That it's all about business, and at the base of everything that we do in real estate is actually business. If you don't know your business, you can do the best real estate deals that you're still gonna move in circles. So learning how to grow, how to set your mindset, how to set up your financials, get loans, understanding your the importance of the marketing and sales. It's things that we're gonna talk about. So feel free to join as well. So this being said, I appreciate Mr. Victor one more time, and for anything, feel free to connect with Victor, and he's gonna connect with me, and we can talk.
All right, thank you, Peter. Like I said, guys, thank you very much. I know it's getting late. On some places, it's a lot later than what it is right now. Like I said, if you want to stay behind, we're going to be talking a little bit about some deals that I know Javi wants to talk about in the one in Florida. You're more than welcome to stay. And of course, you're more than welcome to exit anytime you want. And I do appreciate this. And if you want to link to this, just let me know. I'll send you the link after I download it all into Google Drive. I'm actually thinking about putting onto my YouTube channel too, so you can have access to that. And if you could subscribe to it, that'll help me too. So I appreciate it. Javi, you want to talk about your deal? All right, 5 minutes.
Okay, I'll be really quick. Thank you very much, Victor. Awesome, really awesome. I'm still, maybe you don't believe, but I'm still like thinking how it's possible that someone like you with a lot of things that you're doing, you can still take time for the people, man. Really awesome. I know that I sound right now like, I don't know. I have told you that a lot of times, but I really feel it. I really feel it. So that's what I'm saying again.
So what Javi has, he has a deal in Florida, and he's looking to go back and do some creative purchase on it. You want to talk? Do you still have some details on it? Are you still waiting for some, or what are we doing?
I want to tell you about, okay, let me tell you about that deal. The thing about that deal is that I still don't have the details like mortgage, how is the mortgage, how much is it, how much is he paying right now, taxes, insurance. I don't have that details. That's why I don't want to get very deep into it. I told you that I was going to send you all the information. I don't want to waste your time or the other people right here.
No worries.
But I have a question. I sent you a message. Thank you. I sent you a message today in the morning. I have a question. Let's say that there is a realtor, and he has some lots in the Florida, okay, in Naples, right there. And he wants to sell it. And he's willing to let me take on the title and let me pay after we build and sell the house. My question is, how can he be secure without having a lien on those lots? Because if I have a lien on those lots, I think it's going to be hard to get a lender to lend me money. Or even if I have a lien, I can get a loan. That is my question. Even with a lien in the lot, am I going to be able to get a construction loan? Or I need to, I mean, how can I do that? Let him be secure, and at the same time, being able to get a construction loan.
So
how does that work?
Do you know what the amount of the lien is?
He's selling it. Let's say that he's selling the lot. Let's say that I'm going to get one lot, only one lot for 40K.
Okay. But it has a lien on it.
No, the thing is that I want him to be secure. And one way to do it is to have a lien on the property, so that he can be secure that I'm going to pay that money later. But if I have a lien, how can I get a loan?
Oh, you're looking to have collateral, not a lien.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. A lien and collateral is two different things. A lien means that someone has rights to the property besides you. If you're looking to go back and get collateral to get your loan, it's a different way. Is that what you're trying to do?
Yes, I'm trying to get like what I'm trying to do is like go to the lender and say, look, this lot is mine. I own the title, okay, and I want the construction loan. But at the same time, I want this realtor to be secure. Maybe not with a lien. Maybe there is another way. That's my question. What is the best way, in your opinion, to do this?
If you're gonna go back and try to do a new build on it, or is it a new build you're trying to go back and do?
Yes.
Well, you can go back and use the land as collateral to go back and go into your construction loan.
But here's my thing. Maybe I haven't been able to put all the right words. One way is I take on the title, okay? I own the land. But if I own the land, how can I secure the realtor who is going to lend me the land? I mean, because I'm not going to give him money until I build the property and I sell the property. How is he going to be secure in that time?
But if you take control of the deed, you have control of the land.
Yes, but if I have a deed, am I going to be able to get a loan with a deed?
Well, because you have full control of it, yes. Because whoever has control of the property controls the property. Right? So once you have control, you can go back and say, hey, I'm putting this up for collateral now because you have control of it.
But he's going to have the deed, right?
No, you just told me that you're going to go back and put your name on the deed.
Yes, I'm going to put my name, but how is he going to be secure, the realtor?
What do you mean the realtor?
Okay, the seller. I mean the seller. There is this seller that is going, I mean, he's willing to, let's say, seller finance. He's going to lend me, take on the title. He's going to allow me to build the house, sell the house, and after I sell the house, I pay him the lot amount.
Okay.
But in the meantime, how is he going to be secure? That's my question.
So the seller owns the land, right? And they're selling you the property. They're deeding you the property. They're basically holding a note on the property. That's all it is.
That's all it is. You're overcomplicating it.
So the seller's going to hold a note. The note is secured by the deed of trust, right? So that is their security in this deal. So regardless of what you do, they're essentially a first position, right? They're a first position lien, right? Lien and note secured by deed of trust. That's what happens. It gets leaned up, right? So they're in the first position. They hold that. So you go do whatever you want to do. And whenever you go to sell on the back end, right, there's going to be a payoff that's requested. They're going to call the first position lender, right? Whoever the lien holder is. When they make that call and say, hey, what is a payoff? They're going to submit a loan reconciliation form. And that's going to let them know, hey, here's the total payoff that's required. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, I think you froze, so I wasn't
there's
sure.
one thing. No, I could listen to what you have to say, but I still have one doubt. Okay, I'm going to have the note, right? But can I go to a lender and tell him that I need to get a loan, a construction loan? In this situation, am I going to be able to get a loan in this situation?
Why wouldn't you?
Because my understanding is that the lot, you should own the lot without any debt. The lot should be free so that you can get the construction loan.
So I think the best thing to do here would probably be to speak with a lender that does construction loans, right? Because I think we're trying to solve the problem before the problem even arises. So I think we need to get on the horn with the construction lender, and then ask him this question, because I myself, I'm not a lender for construction loans, and I don't know if anyone else here is, but I think that's probably the first step that you should take. So that way you have a clear understanding of what that's going to look like. And if they can do that, that way you can go ahead and proceed forward with the deal, right? Just my thoughts.
Okay. Because my understanding is that this is not possible. I was just asking, I mean, know with the lenders I know. They say that you need to get the lot free and clear. And then after that, they take the lot as a collateral and they lend you the construction loan.
So the other thing that you can do here, and I know Josh is going to say something here, so I'll make it quick. So the other thing that you can do is you can have a private money lender come in and essentially they'll bring the funds up front, right? So they're going to essentially close escrow. This is going to be for, let's just call it 10 days. Okay. So once they close escrow on this, your private money lender is going to close, you are going to hold the deed, right? So you're going to have to coordinate this with the lender, with the seller, with the title company, or your attorney for that matter. Once you closed escrow on this deal and is now in your entity name or your whatever you decide to put it in, you can now approach that lender and say, hey, I've got this deal here, right? And if you want to do this on the front end, you don't want to do this on the back end, right? You want to have that conversation. That conversation's already been had with the construction lender, and they're like, hey, we're ready to go. You own the property now. All right, here's what we're going to do. Boom. So now they've approved you for this construction loan. The conversation that you had with the seller and the private money lender is, hey, I'm going to have your funds tied up for 10 days or whatever that looks like. Now the seller's going to have a note right now, or the seller is going, I'm screwing this up. It's essentially a Morby method. It's what Victor was talking about earlier. What I can do is if you want to connect, we can talk a little bit more about it, but it's a Morby method where your lender is bringing funds for a certain amount of time, sort of like a transactional lender. Okay. So you've already discussed this with the seller and said, hey, you're going to hold this amount of funds, whether it's $100,000, $10,000, whatever it is, you're going to hold that for me for X amount of time. Right. And so it's a very, very sticky situation. I'll tell you that. Right. Because to this date, I think PACE has only done like maybe 4 or 5 of these, right? And there's a couple of sub 2 students that have also done like maybe 2 or 3. So there's a lot of little missing pieces here. And I don't want to give you the wrong information, but there's a lot of moving parts to this, man. And it gets a lot deeper than this. So I'll leave it at that because I don't even know do you have this deal already on the table? Is this something that's ready to go, or are we just talking hypotheticals?
No. This is something that could happen. But the seller didn't talk about being secure. This is me thinking of trying to find a way to let him be like, okay, I know that I'm doing this deal with Javier. I'm going to wait until he sells the property, but I'm secure. This is me thinking on the seller.
Yeah. Josh probably has a better answer for you. What do you got, brother?
Yeah, I had a couple more like follow-up questions. Is this your first real estate deal?
Sorry?
Is this going to be your first real estate deal?
On my own, yes. On my own. I always do this with my partner. That's how I know that the seller is not going to say yes if the title is not free and clear. He's not going to sell. The lender is not going to say yes.
Yeah, okay. I was basically going to say what Jonathan said, but I mean, I'm up in Canada, so the rules are a little bit different, but construction loans are a pain in the ass. They take a lot of extra work. You've got to have money in the bank that you can put down, especially if you're going to a traditional lender. So my 2 cents on this would be, collaborate with somebody in your area. Maybe Victor, you can connect him to Sergio, might be a good person for him to chat with about the lending side of things. And get a good conversation going on how that all works down there in the States, because I can't comment on that. I know up here it's a pain in the ass. And then I think you need somebody to help walk you through this so that you're safe on your side and that you don't make any, like Jonathan said, there's so many moving parts in these type of deals that you need somebody to kind of handhold you through some of this. It's just my 2 cents.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
And it's never be ashamed to ask for help.
Absolutely. This is how you learn.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Go ahead. Vernon, you raise your hand. Oh, he's talking. Well, guys, I'm going ahead and call it. Thank you very much. It's 10 o'clock. Thank you. This has been fun. And hopefully we do this again. Who would want to do this again? By show of hands. Oh man, awesome. Awesome. So let me see when the next time we can go back and get some people going. I want to go ahead and try to bring up a bigger group next time. Hey, Randy, I want to go back and bring a bigger group next time and see and do some and do some spitballing like this too, because if we're able to go back and bring deals in and talk about it and find a way for a solution and how to go forward, is it by a creative way? Is it going to be traditional? Are we needing a missing JV into it? Money, skill sets, TC, whatever the situation may call for, we can go back and find a solution for the problem that we have in hand. Carol, are we good?
Well, I was just asking. I was just saying that I would love for you to do it again. But again, I just want to give you a thanks, though, Victor, and thanks for my client, Tracy Fleming. One of my clients actually referred me to this group. So, yeah. And I did have a question. For big land development deals, you know, like what we talked about earlier today, how is there, like, before most lenders take a chance on big deals like that, like, do you have to be in the game for a very long time?
Well, as long as you have like maybe a sponsor that helps you out, it's just like a multifamily, right? Because you want someone who already has a couple of notches on their belt to go back and be that front person, because you're dealing with a lot of money. Because we're not dealing with a couple $100,000. We're not dealing with $500,000. We're talking about millions of dollars up front. So they always want to have someone who has a bankroll, at least proof of funds that you're able to go back and do this project just in case. And then also you want a resume to go back and say, hey, I've done 3 or 4 deals already. This is the outcome. This is what it comes out to be. Here's my renderings. This is my concept. And you got to have a set of plans from start to finish. And so you have to be educated on getting the right team members in your power team to go back and do anything as a development that big, because your civil engineer is going to be a very important asset. Your architect, you have to make sure you have your builder who's actually built sites like what you're talking about, you and I were talking about, and it's going to be a lot easier to go back and flow through for the funds.
And
okay.
This is open to everybody. I've helped Victor on some land deals. I'm not by any means, you know, the guru in it, but I've done a lot of them. There's a lot of different ways to look at them because of my experience in the field actually building them. So anybody in Victor's group or anybody on here is more than welcome to set up a call with Victor, and I can walk through some stuff with you guys. I've done a lot of it for Victor.
Hey, and Victor, before you go, and this, anybody on here too, I got about a 24 million deal with 500 units here in Corpus. I don't know if I mentioned that yet, but if anybody want to talk about it, talk about the underwriting, you know, part of it's already net cash flow and, you know, well over $1 million a year already. So we could talk later. I know it's late, but I wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, Vernon's out there looking for deals and capturing deals left and right. He brings some stuff. I was like, man, that was quick.
Yeah, I don't play.
Yeah, you don't play. Hey guys, Mark, you want to say something?
No, I just want him to go ahead and put something in the chat there so we can learn a little bit more about the deal in Corpus.
I'll put my information in the chat already at the top if it's saved, but yeah, talk to me tomorrow. I mean, I got the data already. I'm talking straight to the owners. Well, several owners. It was part of a syndication. So, but they're trying to get out of it early, and I'm still trying to figure out a why. I'm still kind of new, but it's 3 sections, newly renovated, value add, not bad looking, and it's about a total 500 units, total 500 doors, and 16 million for one, 2 million for another, and then it's like another little over 2 for the next one. They willing to sell it as a package, and they also willing to carry a piece of the note if we need it.
Very nice. Okay.
So hit me up, we can talk tomorrow.
Sounds good. Thanks, Victor.
I got numbers, I got data and everything, rent rolls, I got everything, so.
Awesome. Guys, thank you very much again. I appreciate all your support. Cannot wait to see you again. If you have questions about your deals, please let me know. We'll contact all the people here. Hopefully, I can go back and send you the link once I download it to the G Drive, and they already have their comments. If you're able to go back, if you want to, if you click on the three little buttons in the comments, you can go back and download the chat and put it into your computer. And you can keep all the chat in there with all the phone numbers and information and what's on there. But again, if you want a copy of this, I will download it and place it on the G Drive, and then everybody can have access to it anytime they want. Thank you very much. Thank you. Much love, guys. Much love. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, Victor.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Have a good night, everyone.